Hi, my dear children, how are you? I hope you are so fine. Dear students, today we are going to learn multiplication. I hope many of you learned multiplication, but still you are not able to do multiplication properly. That's because you haven't practiced it. So, once you practice, it will be really funny and so much interesting. Say you have two bicycles for some reasons look exactly the same and somebody wants to give you an air pump. They ask you a simple question: how many tires do you have to take care of? To figure this out, we are going to use multiplication. We are going to play the game. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, here is how multiplication works. So we put up the number that in each group and we put x, which means times and then number of groups. So that tells us that how many times that number is going to show up, and then add them all together and you get your answer. So answer, isn't it? Just a side note, to work there has to be some same number in each group. Now remember, we are going to figure it out how many tires we have to take care of. If we have two bicycles, alright, now we have the two wheels under each bicycle. Each bicycle has two wheels. One, two. So write down as two. Each bicycle has two wheels. Remember, the first number we write down with multiplication is the number in each group. Then we write an x. This x means times, two times. It's a symbol of multiplication. Alright, the second number we write are the numbers of groups. You can see them here. How many groups do we have of 2? How many? Yes, 2. So read 2 times 2. To find it out, we skip counting by 2. 2, 4. That means 2 times 2 equals 4. If you have two bicycles, that means you have 4 wheels. 2 times 2 is 4. Remember this, how this multiplication works. The number in each group times the number of groups equals your answer. Of course, to work, there has to be same number in each group. Alright, let's take this to next level. Let's say someone has 4 bicycles and here are their wheels. You know how to do this now. Each bicycle has 2 wheels. So the first number write down is the number 2. That's the number in each group. We are going to put times symbol there and count the number of groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 2 times 4. This is so much fun. So isn't it? This is multiplication. Now let's skip counting to get the answer. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 is our answer. There are 8 wheels and 2 times 4 equals 8. This is how multiplication works. Now here are some multiplication tricks that are going to be really easy to understand when solving multiplication problems very quickly. Here is the first trick. If you multiply any number by 0, you always get 0. Always get 0. Here is an example. 5 times 0 equals 0. When you have 0 groups of 5, that means you have 0. There are none. Whenever you multiply any number by 0, you always get 0. 100 times 0 equals 0. Even if you place 0 first and multiply by any number, you always get 0. For example, 0 times 11 equals 0. 0 times 1000 equals 0. So if you multiply any number by 0, you always get 0. Here is the next trick. If you multiply any number by 1, it stays the same, which means you get the same number. Look at these examples. 7 times 1 equals 7. 100 times 1 equals 100. And 33 times 1 equals 33. If you place the 1 in first, the answer remains the same. That is, 1 times 7 equals 7, 1 times 100 equals 100, and 1 times 33 equals 33. Therefore, the order of the multiplied numbers doesn't change the answer. If you change the order of numbers, you would still get the same number. So, two tricks we learned are: if you multiply any number by 0, you always get 0. And if you multiply any number by 1, it stays the same, which means you will get the same answer. Thank you very much. Well students, so just now we learned what is the meaning of multiplication, and we also learned how to multiply any two numbers. So let me take one more example here. So your next example is 2 times 5 equals 10. So the numbers we multiply together here, like 2 and 5, to get the answer as 10 are usually known as factors of this answer, or else we also call them mathematically as the first factor as multiplicand and the second factor as multiplier. So when we multiply first factor with the second factor, we get our answer, and mathematically when we multiply a multiplicand with a multiplier, we will get our product, that is 10. So here 2 and 5 are known as multiplicand and multiplier respectively, and when we multiply them together, we will get the answer or product as 10. So now I am going to find out the missing factor. Means we are going to learn missing factors, because one of the factors will be missing there. We have to find out that missing factor in the given problems. So right now I am solving the exercise problems of the page number 34, right? So your first question is 4 times of 16, how much? So in order to find the missing factor here, you must know the multiplication tables. Then only these missing factors can easily be find out. So 4 16s are, or 4 times of 16, how much? It is 64. So this was the missing factor you need to fill in that blank. Similarly, 5 times 12, how much? 5 times 12 will be 60. So this is the missing factor. Then 7 times 2, how much? So always read this X mark. This is the multiplication sign. You always read it as times. 2 times 5. Similarly, 17 times 2, how much? It is 34. So similarly, you can find the remaining missing factors like this. Well students, so let us solve the next main, that is second main of the same page number 34, and that main reads like, write the missing factor. So here means we need to find out the missing factor in those boxes so that we can get the appropriate, the actual product, right? So if you know the third table, then finding the missing factor in this question is very much easy. So 3 times dash equals 21. So it is so easy. 3 times 7 equals 21, because the problem was easy, so that's why you found your answer very easily. But not all the time your problem will be easy. So sometimes your problem will be difficult and sometimes your problem will be easy. So in such a situation, you can find the missing factor very easily without bothering about much. So how it is? So let's get started. So let's take up the second problem, that is dash times of 4 equals 56. So just do this one very carefully, pay your attention. So dash times of 4 equals 56. So in such a situation, we keep the box or we keep the dash in the same side. So here we got two sides. So this part is called as left hand side, and this part, the right side part of the equal sign, is called as right hand side, and the left part of the equal sign is called as left hand side. So we keep this box in left hand side and we transfer this number 4 to the right hand side, right? So when you keep this left hand side, when you keep this box in the left hand side, this number will go here, and whenever a number is transferred from one side to the another side, so it will change two things. One thing is that first of all its operation will change. See here, the 4 is multiplied with 4. So what is the opposite of multiplication? So the opposite of multiplication is division. And what is the position of 4 now? So the position of 4 right now is top. So when this number comes from this place to here, its position will also change. So opposite of top is what? It is bottom. So now you write 56 as it is because it was already in the right hand side. So now your problem looks like this. So 56 divided by 4, how much? It is 4 ones are, then 4 14s are. So that in place of empty box, you have to write 14 as your answer. So where is your empty box? Your empty box is here. So in place of empty box, you can write 14. Now you can check that 14 times 4 will give you the answer as 56. So in this way, you can find the missing factor. So let's go for the another problem so that you are going to understand much more. So your next problem is 7 times dash equals 84. So let me take that problem here separately. 7 times dash equals 84. So just now I said that when you want to find out the missing factor, so you can do this step or you can follow this step. So 7 times empty box equals 84. So I want to keep this empty box in the same side and I want to transfer this 7 from this position to here. So as I said, whenever a number is transferred from one side to the another side, so its position will also change and the operation with which is having with this box will also change. So first thing is that the position of 7 right now is top, so that it will go down, means below the 84, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So now it looks like 84 divided by 7. So 7 ones are, then it is 7, how much is 84? It is 7 12s are 84. So that in place of empty box, you have to write 12 as the answer, and you can check this by writing here. So 7 times 12 will give you the product, that is 84. So in this way, you can find the missing factor if they found to be difficult. Well students, so let us solve the next main of the page number 34, and your next main is find the missing factor. So here I have already solved a few problems, so I am going to solve the remaining problems before you. So it is 2 times 11 will give you the 22 as the product, and 3 times 13 will be 39, and 5 times how much will give you 90. It is very simple. So just divide 90 by 5. So when you divide 90 by 5, you will get the missing factor. So it is 5 ones are and 4 is the, yes, it is 5 times of 18 will be 90, or else 18 times 5 will be 90. So both are okay because the order in which we multiply the numbers doesn't change your product. So that's why you can multiply the numbers in any order. You can multiply either 5 times of 18 or 18 times of 5. Your product will always be 90. So it is 4 times of 15 will be 60, and 6 times dash equals 114. So to get the missing factor, just do one thing, take this number 114 and divide it by 6. So I will get, it is 6 ones are there, yes, it is 6 times of 19 will be 114, or else 19 times 6 will be 114. So it is 5 times of 12 will be 60, and 4 times of 17 will be 68. And it is 7 times 12 because these problems want to be easy, that's why I have already solved. So 7 times of 12 will be 84, and 7 times of 13 will be 91, and 128 equals 8 times of dash. So as I said, just divide this big number from the small number. So see here how I divide. So 128 divided by 8. So 8 ones are, so in a 12 still 4 is the remainder. So just write that 4 in front of the 8. So it looks like 48. Then 8 6 are 48. So that the required missing factor is 16. So 8 times of 16 will give you the product as a 128. Similarly 8 times of 15 is 120. Then 6 times 12 will be 72. And 6 times dash equals 84. So how to do it? Just divide this 84 by 6. Definitely you are going to get your answers. See here. Then 6 ones are, still 2 is the remainder in it. So 24. So 6 fours are. So 6 times 14 will be 84. So you can also find the answer very easily just by practicing much. Right? Dash times of 13. So to get this factor, just divide this number from 13. So 13, usually 13 nines are, or 13 times 9 will be 117. So we know this already. 4 times 20 or 20 times 4 will be 80. Let's go for this. It is 136 equals 8 times 17. So 17 times 8 will be 136. And 162 equals 9 times how much? Very simple. Just divide this 162 divided by 9. So it is 9 ones are, still 8 is the remainder from 16 or in 16. So 82 it is. So how much it is? Let me check once again. So 9 ones are, still how much? It is 7. So 72. So 9 eights are. So that it is 9 times of 18 will be 162. So just divide this big number from the given number. You will definitely get the unknown number. So it is 5 times of dash equals 95. Just do the same just now what I did. So 95 divided by 5. So 5 ones are, still 4 is the remainder, 45. So 19 are. So that 5 times of 19 will give you the answer 95. So like this you can find the missing factor if you found them difficult. Well students, now let us learn the properties of multiplication. So your first property of multiplication is commutative property. The word commutative mean to change the position of a digit from one place to the another. So let us take up an example so that we can understand exactly what exactly this commutative property mean. So your first example is 4 times of 8. So 4 times of 8 will give us the product as 32. Now let's do one more thing. Let us change the positions of these both digits. So right now the position of 4 is first. So when you change the position, its position will be what? Its position will be second. So the position of 8 is second now. So when you change the position of 8, then it will be in the first position. And let us use the times sign, multiplication sign as the same. So before it was 4 times of 8, after changing the positions of each digit, so it is looking like 8 times of 4. Now let us check the product of these two. 8 times of 4 will be how much? It is 32. So what can we understand from this? So we can understand like the product remained same, right? Because this product is equal to this product. So that is why you can say that the product did not change at all. The product remained same. And one more thing we can also notice here, that here we multiplied in one order and here we multiplied in another order, but the product remained same. So by this we can understand that 2 or more numbers can be multiplied in any order. If we multiply 2 or more numbers in any order, our product will not change. So that is why if this 32 is equal to this 32, then this order is equal to this order, so that 8 times of 4 is as same as 4 times of 8, or 4 times of 8 is equal to the 8 times of 4. So by this we can easily say that 2 or more numbers are multiplied in any order, but our product will not change, or else the product remains the same when we multiply 2 or more numbers in any order. So let us take up one more example. It is 10 times of 8. Just flip it, means just reverse the order, means just change the order of the digits. So it is 8 times of 10. So what is the product of 10 and 8? It is 80. and 8 times of 10, it is also 80. So we found that the product remained same here. The product did not change at all, but the order of the digits had changed here. So that is why the product always remains the same when we multiply two or more numbers in any order. So this is what a commutative property. So the commutative property says that you can multiply the numbers in any order, but the product will always be same. Let's go for the one more property, that is associative property of multiplication. So in associative property, we must at least take three numbers. So those numbers are 2 times of 3 times of 5. So what is the product here? So before getting the product, we are going to make a group of any two factors here. So let us this time let us make the group of 2 and 3, and let us write the 5 separately, and let us check the product. 2 times of 3 will be 6, and times and 5. So 6 5s are how much? It is 30. Now let us change the grouping, or let us change the combination of the numbers. So let us take the same numbers, 2 times 3 times 5. So in the first aspect, we combined 2 and 3. So now we are going to combine another two numbers. So this time I am going to combine 3 and 5, and let us check the product now. So 2 we write as it is, and 3 times of 5 will be 15, and 2 times of 5 will be 30. So what can you say, or what can you understand from this? So we can understand from this as the product remains same. The product remains same when we, so if you group, or when we group the numbers in any combination. So this is the combination of two numbers, or this is the group of two numbers. Here also this is the group of two numbers. So the product remained same, right? The product remained same when we group the numbers in any combination. So that this 30 is equal to this 30, then automatically 2 times of 15 is equal to 6 times of 5, and this combination of number is equal to this combination, means this group of number is equal to this group. So associative property says that the answer will always be same. It never changes if we group or if we combine the numbers in any fashion, right? So this is what the associative property. Well students, let us learn a few more properties of the multiplication, and your next property is that multiplicative property of 0, or else you can also call it as 0 property. And the next property is that multiplicative property of 1, or else it is property of 1. Okay, let us learn this. So it states that if you multiply any number by 0, your answer will be always 0. How is this possible? Very simple. So as I said, the first number tells you that how many numbers are there in each group, and the second factor, this is the first factor, the first factor tells you that how many numbers are there in each group, and the second factor tells you that how many groups are there. So of course there are 15 numbers in each group, but if there are 0 groups, then it is absolutely there is nothing. So that 15 times of 0, 15 objects times of 0 groups will be 0 again. So that if you multiply any number by 0, you will get always 0. So 125 times 0 equals always 0, and this shows that there are 0 numbers and there are 10 groups. So if there is nothing, then you cannot make the group. So that is why your product will always be here also 0. So any number multiplied by 0 will be 0, and 0 multiplied by any number will be 0. So this is what the multiplicative property. So the multiplicative property says that any number which is multiplied by 0, the answer is always 0. Let's go for the multiplicative property of 1. So any number, if you multiply by 1, then it gives you the same answer. See here, 345 times of 1 will be 345. So what does it mean? Which means the first factor tells you that how many numbers are there. So there are 345 in each group, and if there is only one group, then you will get the same numbers. because there is only one group, that's why you will get the same number back. So 1000 times 1 will be 1000 again, because imagine that if there are 1000 students and if there is only one group of 1000 students, then total number of students will be what? The total number of students will be 1000 again. So that 1 times of 444, there is only one student, and if there are 444 groups, then how many students will be there? There will be 444 students. So that is why any number multiplied by 1 will give you the same number, and the number 1 when it is multiplied with any number will give you the same number back. So this is what the multiplicative property of 1. It says that any number multiplied by 1 will give you the same number again. Well students, let us solve the exercise problems of the page number 35, and your first question is fill in the blank. So these all questions are based on the multiplication properties just now we have discussed. So when you look at the first question, it is like a 203 or 203 times of 302 equals 302 times of dash. So which property this problem is representing? Very simple. When you look at the positions of both the numbers, so here the position of 203 is first and the position of 302 is next. So after the equal sign, the position of 302 is first, so which means the position of the 302 has changed here. So order has changed here. So that is why it is undoubtedly commutative property, and according to the commutative property, which number has to come here? It is absolutely 203. So commutative property says that you can multiply the numbers in any order, but your sum or your product will not be changed, means it doesn't change at all. So when you look at this second problem, it is 571 times of 0. It is just like any number multiplied by 0. So if you multiply any number by 0, your product will always be 0. So this is the equal numbers or numbers. There are 571 numbers and in 0 groups, so that there is nothing, right? So any number multiplied by 1, so it will be the number itself, right? It is commutative, it is property, multiplication property of 1, right? And dash times of 384. So see here, your multiplicand is 384 and your product is the number again. So this is multiplicative property of 1. Why? Because when you multiply 1 with any number, it gives you the same number back, right? So dash times of 619. So when you look at the multiplier, multiplicand and the product 0, then you will understand that if a number is multiplied with 0, then your product will always be 0, or 0 is multiplied by any number, then your product will always be 0, or your answer will always be 0. Then when you look at the last one, that is 60 times of 20 times of 0, then what will be your answer? So see here, 60 times of 20 will be or will give you a product, but that product is multiplied again with a 0, then your product will be equal to 0. So think this as a number, then a number is multiplied with 0, then your product will be still 0. So this is how we can solve.